said to do this you'd have to be crazy or super confident, or perhaps both.
I hardly think it's my place to respond to this, but yes, it was a fairly monumental effort. I was very lucky from the start, actually, that I had the support of basically the world's finest choir and a couple of incredible dancers who were very keen for me to do this. And this would not have been possible without having, effectively in all areas of art, people who were very keen to see something like this happen, who felt with me that it was really important that we should be creating artworks that were not stuck in major opera houses in London and Paris, but rather were able to tour everywhere. And it was a monumental work, but at the same time, it was a monumental work that many people came together to do.
And that's, I mean, people who've seen it say it is like having a live experience because it appears live, because the holographic experience is so extraordinary. And was that technically quite difficult to do?
Technically it was. The hardest part of it, I suppose, is very simply that nobody's ever attempted anything like this before. So we were going in reasonably completely blind and figuring it out as we went along. Holograms are not real life and will never replace real life, but at the same time, some of the time they can be better in many ways, and certainly in terms of the subject matter. The First World War and its place in our present allowed me to create the sort of effects of disappearances, appearances, and changes of scene that one could never do on stage otherwise.
And also, I suppose the big picture is we are still, in a way, haunted by the ghosts of World War I, 100 years on, and so the spectral sense that you get from a hologram is something that moves us.
Absolutely. In that respect, it did seem incredibly apposite to be choosing holograms as the form, but also, I suppose, the danger of a period of history so important, but also so far away, is that it does run the risk of being a series of grade textbook numbers and formal commemorations, as opposed to something alive who exactly as you say, where the ghosts haunt us very much in our present, and this form allows us to create that.
I'm very interested in your career as well, because you have made the transition from pop music to this. That's quite a leap.
It happens. No,
not overnight, I take it.
No. I was directing theatre from when I was about this high in Cape Town, and ended up coming across to the UK to study literature. Stumbled into fronting a rock band, as so many idiots have before me. Was rescued by a very wonderful producer named Robert Harder, who basically was working with Brian Eno, Hancock, and people like that. Loved what I was doing, but told me to grow up and do something useful with my life. Encouraged me to study composition. And this I duly did from some 19th century Russian romantic textbooks. Don't ask me why. And one thing led to another, I suppose.
Well, I'm very glad you left Robin. Just very briefly though,
yes.
People around the country will be able to see it.
Yes.
That's the key thing, isn't it?
Absolutely.
On the road.
Yes. The point of this form, and indeed the reason that all of these artists came together to create this, is that we've created a work with 450 performers all in, which, including Sergei Polonian, the world's finest ballet dancer to my mind, Minako Seki, the Vienna Philharmonic Choir, and it's not stuck in major cities. It's instead, I think the next shows off to London are Bury St Edmunds, Portsmouth, Weymouth, and so on and so on. And this is absolutely the goal.
Very exciting. Thanks very much for coming in.
Thank you so much.